Welcome back to popolitickin.com. This is another special episode of Wrestling underscore hip hop with my man Shiloh Greaves. How you doing? Greaves, my bad. Shiloh Greaves. How you doing, bro?
I'm good.
Chill, man. So I seen you a little bit. I'm a big wrestling fan, and I seen you, so I just want to learn more about you. But I read, you see, like you're from Illinois, but I read like you're SoCal based.
Yeah, no, it's actually the other way around. I'm Illinois based, but I'm from SoCal, and
Okay.
I really haven't done much work in SoCal in about 4 or 5 years. I just started getting most of my work in the Midwest, so I ended up just staying there. Really.
What part of SoCal you from? I'm from Oceanside. If you know what Oceanside is at.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm from LA, but the San Fernando Valley portion of
Okay.
LA.
All right. So how did you get? Tell me about your background in wrestling. I know you probably was a fan first, like everybody else.
Yeah, yeah. I the very first show I ever went to, it was the SmackDown in Bakersfield where Stone Cold and Booker T fought in the grocery store.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that was my very first wrestling show. I was about 7 or 8 years old when that happened, and just from that point on, like once I had experienced the actual, the actual deal, I was like, okay, this is it. Like it wasn't a phase. Like I kind of just knew from that moment I was meant to do that. And I got started. I was 13 when I started, and
Damn.
back then there wasn't a lot of wrestling schools. It wasn't like how it is now where there's wrestling schools everywhere. Like if you were able to find a wrestling school, especially in LA, that was considered a jackpot. So I started training under Rick Drayson in Sherman Oaks, and that's basically where I got my start.
I think he just passed away a while ago, right?
He did. He just passed away about 2 weeks ago.
He trained a lot. Who? What other wrestlers did he train? I know he trained a lot of wrestlers.
Um, oh man, let's see. Drayson trained me. He trained quite a few. Jungle Boy also got his start at Drayson's. Rusev got his start at Drayson's. Um, yeah, a lot of others that ended up going on to do stuff. But yeah, that those are the main two big names I could really think of that came out of there.
Mm. And then, how would you describe yourself as a wrestler? Because shit, I can't. It was like you just being yourself, man. I can't. I
Okay.
was like, he just being real. I don't know. He's like, this is him. I
As a
say it's
wrestler,
ignorant. They call it ignorant. So
like Yates book, in the ring, as far as in ring goes, I wouldn't say I necessarily have a style. Like whatever style someone's working, I'm just gonna adapt to it and just kind of go off of it like that. I I just try and have fun because when I took it serious, I was miserable. Like I
mm.
took it too serious. Like I had to have the best match on the card. I had to do this. That eventually I was just like, you know what? It just does not work like that. So yeah, that's basically as a wrestler, I really am just myself out there because these guys now these days they're just robots.
So what do you love about wrestling the most?
Oh man. Probably just the spectacle of it. The spectacle of it all. Really that's what drew me in. The spectacle, the energy, the emotion, really just the way to play with people's emotions. And I it's really fun. I don't know. It's like, well, once you get that part down, the emotional aspect, that's the thing. Too many guys these days, they focus on the athletic aspect of things instead of the emotional aspect. And people forget that emotion is what really drives the industry that we're in.
Mm. Sound like you're a student of the game a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, I was trained by Kishi, Gangrel, Black Pearl. They took in after Drayson. Basically, like as Drayson's was kind of winding down, they opened their school up, and a lot of students that were from Drayson ended up going into these other schools. But like guys like me and Rusev, we ended up at Knox Pro, which was the Kishi and Gangrel school.
Okay, yeah, I heard of that one too. Yeah, Rikishi run that one. Yeah, actually, it was so. I don't know if you heard of SoCal Pro Wrestling, but I actually saw a match with my homie Jude Diz against Gangrel. That shit was, but
Oh, okay,
Gangrel was
yeah, I know Jude.
still,
Yeah,
he was getting busy still. That shit was like 2 years ago, but it was
yeah,
like a real good match. Like no cap, it was really a good match. I was like, damn, okay.
I remember that. I know exactly which one you're talking about.
And then I will ask you. So I saw your YouTube. I just want you to talk about some of the promotions you've been in. I was looking at your YouTube channel, but I just want you to talk about some of the promotions you wrestled in.
Like promotions I work for.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, the main places I work at are Galley Lucha Libre in Chicago, or New Wave Pro Wrestling in Terre Haute, Indiana. Those are the two main places I work at. Um, and I also just work here and there, in and out of other places in the Midwest. But yeah, that's really the main places where you could catch me at. Um, it's a very different climate also, because now it's like with the material that I'm putting out from that page, it's very heavy material, and it can make promoters hesitant to touch it. And I knew I was going to be taking that gamble because basically the character that I portray on that page is that of a recovering junkie. And it's basically a story of recovery and redemption, but everyone knows that those stories are usually never smooth. So it's very comedy based. It's actually, even though it does get heavy, it's still a lot of fun. It's actually, I personally see it as inspirational, because I struggled with my own issues with alcohol, like when I was living in Europe and stuff. And it's like, I feel like if I could kick it, you know, other people can do it too. um,
I was actually going to ask you that because I know a lot of times with wrestling, it's life imitates art. So I was going to ask you, like, where did you come with that character, the alcoholism and stuff? I mean,
well,
which
basically, I remember I had got stranded one night. I was in Chicago and I got stranded, and I just remember I was forced to sleep outside in February in Chicago. And
cold.
oh man, I just remember sitting there, and I just remember thinking, like, all of this came from pro wrestling. All this came from my obsession of pro wrestling. That's what landed me in that situation, was the unhealthy obsession that I had. So I just remember from that point on, I was like, you know what? I do not care anymore. I'm just going to grab a camera and film, and I'm just going to basically word vomit. And that and that was about 3 years ago. And ever since then, it's basically just been all gas.
So what year did you start training?
I started training in 2007.
Oh, okay, yeah, you've been in it for a minute. I'll say,
Yeah.
are you trying to get with any other promotions? Because I kind of see you on Game Changer Wrestling. That's kind of where I see you fitting a little bit. If you
Yeah,
never been,
and that's the thing. I'm trying to get, I feel like I'm just so close to something big. It's very difficult, like just the way the game works and all that, because um with what I do and what I've done, yeah, people people look at it like, and also people forget that what I do is character play. And people sometimes, they forget the difference between realism and the wrestling world. So people see what I do in the wrestling world and they just think, oh man, he's really like that. And it sucks because I feel like a lot of other people are given the benefit of the doubt. I'm not necessarily given that benefit, but again, it goes back to me knowing the risk I was taking with this character. But I just know I'm very close to someone. I know someone is going to see the money in it. I don't know when. I'm hoping soon, but all we got to do is just keep pushing.
yeah, it seemed like they. I saw your other video. It seemed like they worry about what you do in the grocery store too. So, how long ago was that? That was crazy.
Man, that was, let me tell you that. Okay, so I filmed that because I had got hurt. I was first starting to, really get the ignorant character off the ground. And when I was in Europe, I hurt myself. But it was like a bad, you know what I'm saying? Like it was a meniscal tear. So I ended up taking like it was only like a 4 month thing, but I ended up taking off a year and 4 months. I was just burnt out mentally, physically. It was just a lot of different things. So I ended up I took off that year and a half, and I was just like, okay, if I'm gonna bring this character back, I have to do something really nasty to let people know, like, like I'm not playing this time around. So my first match back, I was wrestling a guy named Big T, Thomas Moore. And me and Big T, this was a rematch. The first promo I ever did as Ignorant Shiloh Greaves, I was in a Walmart, and I had I was just like, this is what a big T looks like, but I didn't do nothing to the T. I back in the promo ended. So this video was the T. This is my second. In the second T promo, I was just like, I've been gone for a year and a half, blah blah blah, and you're gonna spit on my legacy. Well, I'm gonna spit on yours. So I grabbed the T and I opened and I spit in the T.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. Bob said the only thing was like they didn't show the whole promo. They just cut that where you spitting
T. Well, what really got people going was it took about 7 or 8 months for it to actually go viral. Because when I posted it, I got like laughs from my friends and stuff, and like the little following I have, but that was that. That was it, like even I think New Wave even posted it on their page and no one really cared. It was just okay. That's everyone who knew me just knew, okay, that's just another promo by him. So when, so one day this 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 fan messages me on Instagram with the Twitter link. And this Twitter link, it was the video of me. It was the edited video of me, spitting in the tea. And I'm like, okay. Like it was at 30,000 views, refreshing the page. And every time I refresh the page, it's at 50,000, 75. This is all within like a minute, and I'm like, oh, so it's like, it's really circulating. And by the end of the night, it was already past 1 million. I was getting death threats. Oh man, people were tagging the FBI. People were tagging Homeland. Oh, it got really, really bad. They found my address. They found they found out my guard card number. It was really, really bad. Like they really came out. The worst part about it was, check this out. This is where it gets good. This is where it gets really good. The reason why people knew who I was, the thought on Twitter was my name was Evan Gunther. That's what they had said. They said my name was Evan Gunther, and I was like, all right, cool, Evan Gunther. All right, that's my name. So I didn't want them to find me. But instead, there was a wrestler by the name of Swade Thompson who was like, nope, he's a pro wrestler. His name's Shiloh. Like basically
missed you out.
Oh no, but it wasn't just him. It was the collective of SoCal. Like a lot of people's favorite wrestlers that be out here on these shows, yeah, they were in on it too. They all, when it was time, that's the thing, nobody cared about me till it was time to prosecute me. And they all threw me under the bus. A lot of them did. I can't say all, that would be a false statement. But I'll tell you right now, a lot of their true colors through that.
But they say you already had bought the tea anyway, right? Beforehand.
Yeah, but and that was the thing. I remember just because I had deactivated, because when I found out that they were starting to like post my address, I deactivated my Facebook. So I didn't really know what people were saying about me on Facebook till about a day or two later. And then I found out, more than half the boys have turned on me there. And then when I finally posted my explanation, it was like people hated me even more, even after getting the explanation. Like I saw a very ugly side to humanity through all that. Like when a person is on their opinion, they are going to stick to that opinion no matter what. Like people cannot be moved, and it's crazy how that mob works, how that lynch mob mentality works, and how the media uses it too. It's really scary almost.
Yeah, I was gonna say how you feel like say if you go to an organization, but they say you have to like kind of tone down your character. Would you do that or no?
I would change the character altogether. I have a number
Mm.
of different characters that I work with. I just like doing this one because this just, especially working in a place like Indiana, like this just really gets people riled up. It gets people emotional on a different level. Um I try, I just basically I go until they tell me it's too far.
Mm.
Like that's how I treat it. Like if I go too far, they'll let me know.
Yeah,
You
I would
know,
say you remind me of New Jack with that.
I'll tell you right now, I New Jack is a much more volatile person than I am. I think he is much more I'll tell you right now, he is much more about his shit. That's for sure because me it takes a lot for me. Like New Jack is a no nonsense guy. Me, it really takes a lot for me. And the thing was when all the guys, when basically like half the industry turned on you, and it goes beyond a promo. Like now it's like your life's involved because they were trying to get me life in jail for that. They were trying to get me 25 to life for that. So it's like when you're trying to get my life involved, it's a whole different ball game. At that point, that's when I really, really, really stopped giving a fuck. That's when I realized, okay, like y'all came for my life. Like now I'm just really gonna let loose on y'all till y'all just fucking cancel me. Because I consider myself canceled already, personally, as sad as it sounds.
Did you are you still dealing with that or it went away?
Oh yeah, I still get threats, I still get hate mail, I still get all sorts of shit with that. But
Well,
it's
why? I
because
just don't
it still
understand. I've been
circulates.
seeing worse. I've been seeing worse. I seen worse wrestling. I mean, it wasn't even bad, but I seen worse shit than that on wrestling. Like why they tripping? I don't know why it's so bad. What's the
Well,
problem?
that's how the internet works. I mean, it's like when you have a video at 30 million views, it also resurfaced. Technically, it went viral twice because it resurfaced when the coronavirus first hit.
Yeah, hello. You there? I think.
Yeah, no, okay, yeah. No, the video it went viral twice because it resurfaced when coronavirus hit. So it was, and this was a global, like that's like I always like I know I'm not crazy, but I always felt like there was some sort of like conspiracy against
I was
me. Like it's
who
like
edited the video? Who put it out? That's the question.
I don't know. I don't know. And that's what's going on my Instagram and my YouTube page right now. I'm looking for the suspect in
Yeah,
that
because
in that hunt.
somebody did it on purpose. Because I'm saying if you watch the whole clip, then you be like, okay, whatever. But they cut that shit to 7 seconds, and then that looks crazy. So whoever did that, they started that shit, man. It might be somebody you know or whatever too. You might figure that out for real. He came out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you
There
good.
we are.
Yeah, I was saying
Yep.
might need to find out who did that shit. That shit crazy. Cause somebody
Yeah.
that sounds like a up.
And it's really crazy how, and it sucks because it's like pro wrestling. I remember a lot of people were saying like, man, you're gonna be like some sort of victim. You're gonna be like a martyr, and pro wrestling is gonna come back and rally around you and give it like a, and it really wasn't that. Like, I feel like when I was declared as innocent, I honestly feel like people hated me more after that. They were just like, that son of a bitch got away. That's how it was viewed. And I'm just, yeah, just very few promoters were willing to take the chance on what I was doing. And that's why I'm just like, you know what, I'm going to take the chance on myself and just continue to put out material
Yeah.
because like, I'm not even one to toot my own horn, but damn, heat like that, you don't get that often. You just don't. And it's, yeah, that's, it just blew my mind that, all that stuff happened. All that happened and just nothing really materialized from it. But, the ball keeps rolling. I can't harp on it for too long.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about you talked about one injury, but I was looking at your moves, man. You got a lot of like high risk moves. So did you have more injury or just that one?
Just that one and a broken ankle about 6 years ago. Other than that, I've been relatively clean on the injury side. I do have a couple of spinal issues, but I don't think that's wrestling related. Um, that's just something I've always dealt with. But other than that, yeah, um, yeah, no, I'm relatively clean on the injury list. Luckily, I keep it safe.
And if you wasn't wrestling, what would you be doing right now?
Probably either armed security or joining the fire department so I could finance a wrestling related project.
Mm. Now, who's
No,
your
but no, I always did want to get into acting though. That's for sure. Acting or stunt work.
mm. But that's kind of like to me that is wrestling, like
Yeah,
acting.
and that's where I think, I feel like I could utilize the skills that I know into somewhere else.
And then what are your interests outside of wrestling?
Really, acting, acting, journalism, stuff like that. But really, like when it just comes, I really did throw my eggs in one basket when it came to wrestling. Like I remember just growing up, like people would always be like, "What do you want to go to college for?" And I would just be like, even till this day, like I'm still like, I don't know. Like I want to be a wrestler. Like sometimes people are put on this planet to do one thing, and I truly do feel like pro wrestling is what I was put here to do.
Yeah, I'm saying, but can you just talk about the indie grind some? Because some people, they just to hear you say a wrestler, so they might not understand how hard work it is, as far as being a wrestler, the grind of it.
What was that question again?
Just as far as the grind of being a wrestler, like it's hard being a wrestler, like being an independent wrestler,
Oh,
grinding.
it's very hard. It's very hard. I think independent wrestlers have the absolute highest level of violation of labor laws in probably the world. I think that they are severely underpaid. I think that the fact that a guy is willing to go out there and break his neck for someone and the promoter only gives him $20, I think that is absolutely asinine. Um, and it's even worse that the boys just kind of sit there and take it. They really do just sit there and take it. That's why whenever I hear talk about the boys unionizing and stuff like that, I'm just like, it'll never happen because the boys like to be treated like shit. I never understood that. And that's one thing I had to come to the realization of. It's like that incident really made me realize how much I was worth, and it's like I just can't understand how anyone, like, it sucks. It really sucks because the market is collapsed for worth. Like, it's like, okay, you're gonna charge me 300 $400 for a booking. Okay, I'm gonna book 5 guys for $100. That's how promoters treat it.
Mm.
You up your price, you're gonna see your bookings take a dip. And only a very select few of these guys are actually able to make a living off of it. So it's, people forget the level of saturation of the scene right now. It's, you have over, at least in just the United States alone, you probably got at least 2 to 3 thousand wrestlers on the scene.
Wow.
Like that's just indie wrestlers. So it's like these guys come at a dime a dozen. So it's, girls. It's a lot easier for girls to charge money because girls, one, they're in high demand, and two, there's not as many girl wrestlers. But the thing is, the more that it happens, watch, you're gonna see the female market collapse in that aspect too. So it's very dog eat dog, and you have to figure out a way to get yourself more over and prove why you deserve more pay than a sweatshop worker.
Um, yeah, I was saying I actually had a promoter on the show yesterday, and he was talking about how he wanted to always make sure his wrestlers got paid. Have you ever did one where you didn't get paid for a show?
I can't hear you. What was that?
I said, have you ever had an instance where you didn't get paid for a show?
Where I didn't get paid?
Yeah.
Have I had an instance? Oh my god. I have that. That is the story of my life. It's very getting paid out here, like when these guys, especially when you're just a startup, you know what I'm saying? You don't really have many references behind you and you're just hitting the scene. They're going to look at you and be like, well, why do you deserve to get paid? Especially a guy like me. I'm relatively undersized, don't really have updated gear. You know what I'm saying? When you look at me at first sight, it's like a lot of people, a lot of promoters usually, they scoff. They'd be like, oh, I can't do nothing with that, but it's like, look at me, made history somehow.
Hmm. Where
But
you see?
what was that?
No, I was just saying. So where your goals with your career right now? What are you trying to work on?
With my career right now, I'm currently the New Wave Pro Ultra Rapid Champion. Um, if I successfully defend that 3 times, I get a world title shot there. So we'll see what that materializes into. But right now, I'm physically feeling and looking better than I have in a long time. I'm in the full time mix again. This is the first time I've actually been in the full time mix of a company in about 3 years now. So this is, so now I'm working consistently again despite the pandemic. I have a title around my waist, and right now I'm kind of just trying to physically find myself in the ring again because I wasn't when I had returned last year, I wasn't given a lot of one-on-one matches. It was a lot of multi-man matches. I was in the ring with 5 or 6 other guys. It was always I never really got to truly physically test myself like how I am now. And now I'm in there with younger talent, faster talent. The business has kind of changed on me a little bit. So I'm adapting right now, but I'm still, just trying to ruffle feathers wherever I go. If they're emotional, that it works. I don't care if they're talking good or bad about me. They are talking about me. And that's one thing I realized about marketing. You know what I'm saying? People do not want to see a picture of me with my protein shake lifting weights. People want to see me getting into some drama with someone. People won't scroll past drama. Everyone stops for some negative shit, for some drama. So that's basically what I'm peddling out.
Hmm.
So
Then what?
as of now, I will say I'm probably going to take some time off. Probably at the beginning of next year, I'm just gonna keep working my body, and I'm actually next year going to make a legit run at getting looked at by someone, because I personally think it is absolutely ridiculous that what happened to me and nothing happened from it.
Yeah, that don't make no sense.
It absolutely no sense, So I'm riding the wave. I'm just riding the wave right now. I'm not going to be obsessive over it. I'm not. I've always wanted to get into promoting my own shows too. That's also a very likely possibility for me, starting up my own show somewhere. I don't know where, but there's a lot of options right now. I definitely think the future is bright, though, no doubt.
Are you affiliated with any schools out there?
No, and I think that's one thing that really um, kind of threw me off in terms of getting bookings and stuff. Was a lot of the stuff I did was without a referral. Um, usually schools kind of filter their students into the indie scene. Like my school didn't necessarily do that. It was kind of just, all right, you're out there, and I started from scratch. And everywhere I went, I didn't know anyone. Nobody knew me. And I really just kind of have been rather nomadic in that sense. Like I've always just kind of been a wanderer, and I think that's also another thing that's hindered some of my success. I'm never in one place for long enough. You know what I'm saying? I'll be working in California for 3 months. Then I'll be working in Florida for 1 month. I'll be working in the Midwest for 4 months, but then I'll go overseas for 3 more months. It's always I'm bouncing around. And I think I'm just trying to find not just where I fit in, with a wrestling perspective, but where I want to start my life, because, I don't want to live in LA. It's too expensive.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. I'm just riding the wave, man.
All right, man. I want to say appreciate talking to you, bro.
Of course, man. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Be safe out there, man.
No doubt. What you want to say to your fans and supporters?
Kiss my ass and follow my YouTube. That's my message.
Then what's your social media and your YouTube?
Oh, my YouTube is Ignorant Shiloh Greaves, and my Instagram is at ignorant_Shiloh_Greaves.
All right, we out. Nice talking to you, bro.
All right, buddy. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Peace.